Have you ever looked at a really old map of West Africa and noticed something, well, something that seems totally out of place? For centuries, you'll find a stretch of the coastline labeled with a name you definitely recognize, Judah. Now, how in the world it got there isn't just some quirky historical footnote. Oh no, it's an incredible story about a worldview that's been almost completely forgotten.
So for a long time, we've basically been given two completely different explanations. On one hand, you have the official story, which says, it's just a simple misspelling. But on the other hand, there's a different idea. What if it wasn't a mistake at all? What if it's the last trace of a hidden truth, a memory, that someone somewhere tried to erase?
All right, let's start with the official story. This is the one you'll find in most textbooks. It's neat, it's simple, and honestly, for a very long time, pretty much everyone just accepted it as the final word on the matter.
So the argument basically goes like this. You have these European map makers, they hear a local name like Whydah, and they spell it wrong. They jot down Judah instead. It's presented as this simple accident, a little phonetic slip-up. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along.
But see, that's where things start to get really interesting. Because the deeper you dig into the old archives, the more that neat little explanation starts to fall apart. What if this convenient answer isn't an answer at all? What if it's a cover for a much more complex and, frankly, more powerful story about how Europeans used to see the entire world?
To really get what's going on with this map, we have to do a little time traveling. We need to get inside the minds of the people who actually made it. And that means going back to a time before our modern ideas of race even existed.
You can see this huge shift happen over a few centuries. From the 1400s all the way up to the 1700s, Europeans were working with a totally different set of assumptions. It was completely natural for them to see biblical connections everywhere they looked. But then, starting around the 1800s, this new racial ideology comes on the scene, and it demands that history be systematically whitened. And that just changes everything.
And this, right here, this is the absolute key to understanding that map. When early European explorers thought about the ancient Israelites, they weren't picturing blonde folks from Northern Europe. Not at all. For over 1,000 years, their own art, their own theology, had consistently shown biblical figures as being part of this broader, darker, Afro-Asiatic world.
So you might be thinking, okay, if this worldview really existed, where's the proof? Well, it's scattered all across Europe's own cathedrals, their libraries, their chronicles. It's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
So our first trail of clues is a visual one. And believe me, it's been right there in front of us for centuries in European art that we've just been taught to see in a completely different light. Think about the famous black Madonnas you can find all across Europe. They aren't dark because of some accident with soot from a candle. No way. They're a window into this older worldview. From Byzantine icons to the ancient frescoes in the catacombs of Rome, you see it